Undefeated fighter and future Hall of Famer Andre SOG Ward says he cannot see Anthony Joshua beating Tyson Fury. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chats channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We work it. Now, SOG, Andre Ward, he did an interview with ESPN. And before I get started, speaking of ESPN, head over to the link in the description, ESPN Plus, if you would like to sign up. Tons of content. You can get ESPN Plus as a standalone. A lot of docuseries, documentaries. Normally they have live sports, and you know, I'm sure they have the UFC replay now that the UFC 249 has happened. Very good card, by the way. Check out my videos on that. And yeah, head over to ESPN Plus, sign up. It does help the channel when you guys click on that link. Now, Andre Ward, you know, he spoke to ESPN about a potential Joshua versus Fury fight. This is what he says, and I quote, "Anything can happen. This is the heavyweight division, but I can't see this Anthony Joshua coming off the loss, even though he won the rematch with Andy Ruiz. He didn't look dominant from the standpoint of control, physically imposing." Ward goes on to say he's a physically imposing heavyweight, but he moved around like he was the smaller man. That concerned me. The type of momentum that Tyson Fury has right now, I don't see anybody beating him. I think the best guy and the fighter with the best chance to beat Tyson Fury is Deontay Wilder with that big right hand. Wilder would have to land that shot to get Fury out of there, but I just can't see any scenario where Anthony Joshua, beats Tyson Fury right now, end quote. Listen, shout out to my dude. I guess it's a Bay Area thing. Shout out to the whole Bay. You did. So, Dre Ward, he's telling you literally, this is like vindication for me. New media, we control the narrative. It's vindication for me. Like when I say stuff on my channel, you know, it comes with the territory. You're gonna have haters and contrarians and people who disagree and, you know, go against everything you say. But the proof is in the pudding. You know, I must know a thing about it too, because you have a world-class guy, undefeated fighter like Andre Ward, and he's literally mirroring what I've said to you in my videos, if you guys pay attention. As far as Joshua Fury, I get from a standpoint of being a British fan, you would want to see that because it's, you know, two Brits who have belts, and we've never really had the chance to see that in the heavyweight division, right? Two British UK guys go at it. But I've said it for the longest, Joshua versus Fury, I think, is a lesser matchup than Wilder Fury Part 3, because I think it's Joshua's style. I literally keep saying the same thing. Joshua, to me, is in no man's land. He doesn't really have a style. You watch his first, like a guy like Floyd Mayweather, and I use him because he's like the model citizen when it comes to boxing and technique and, you know, perfection in the square circle, right? Floyd Mayweather knows all of his exit routes. He knows when he wants to go on offense, when he needs to switch to defense, when he needs to use the shoulder roll, when he needs to use the high guard and walk somebody down. You know, he knows these things. Joshua, you could tell by his interviews, and you could tell by his confidence in those interviews, and also how he fights, that he's not fully confident and he doesn't know kind of what to do. He's just learning as he goes. You get what I'm saying? And part of being a fighter, I think, is reflex and instincts, right? Joshua, you listen to him in interviews, he says stuff like, oh yeah, you know, it's mad. Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, they turned pro, you know, a year after I started boxing, you know, and he's saying all this stuff. Like, what does that have to do? Nobody cares about that. You see what I'm saying? He's like, oh, so imagine where I'll be in 5 years, in 10 years time. But boxing don't work like that. It ain't no 5-year, 10-year. You know, you have people, and God forbid this happens, but Dimitri Perot, the one that beat Danny Jacobs, he was a top level middleweight, and then all of a sudden, you know, he gets injured and his career changing, you know, or Paul Williams in his accident. Or there was another dude, I think he was from Thailand or something, and his name was Poonswat Kratagym or something like that. I don't know how to enunciate his name. He was supposed to fight Guillermo Rigondeaux at the time, and he developed some type of blood disease, and he couldn't pass his medical, and then he had to retire from the sport because whatever blood disease he had was pretty severe. They actually thought he had tested positive for HIV, you know, and that fight got canceled. So you got to know your boxing and stuff. So with that being said, I just feel like you can't worry about 5 to 10 years from now, and boxers have a small window. You see guys they're well on their way to becoming something great, and then they get knocked out, like Antoine Douglas. Antoine Douglas was never really the same after he fought the white Mike Tyson dude, Aventel Kurtidze, you know, and then he ended up getting stopped by Spike O'Sullivan, and he didn't look in that Spike O'Sullivan fight. It didn't look like he could take a punch after the Kurtidze fight. So you can't really worry about it. So that to me shows me a lack of Joshua's confidence. Andy Lee, cousin of Tyson Fury and trainer, he just recently did an interview. I did a video about it, so you guys got to subscribe to the channel and check these out. But Andy Lee said that he don't see Joshua being mentally stronger than Tyson Fury, so he sees his cousin Tyson Fury stopping Joshua in 8. The walls are closing in for old media, and also the Eddie Hearn charade. Eddie Hearn and a lot of the British fans that he's brought, and you know the AJ Man fans, and you know the rematch room brigade or whatever. The walls are closing in because it's like a lot of the nonsensical things that were being said that were coming from that direction. I don't think anyone really believes in it anymore. I don't think anyone truly in their heart of all hearts believes what they're saying, right? You look at Joshua. So far in the last couple days, week or whatever, Andre Ward doubts that Joshua could beat Fury, right? You've had guys like Prince Nassim, so you can't say, oh, Andre Ward, he's a black Yank and he's American, you know, and this is the reason why he's hating on Joshua, because you have British fighters saying that, like Prince Nassim Ahmed. I did a video about that too, you know, and Andy Lee, you know, he's another guy where he's related to Tyson Fury, so that's a little bit different. But again, you have other people like Andre Ward. I just don't know anyone that's picking Joshua at this juncture to beat Tyson Fury. So I agree 1000% with Andre Ward. Another thing that Andre Ward said that is meaningful, and like I guess we have the same, you know, I'm not going to say I have the same eye as him, but we see the same things offered, is Anthony Joshua. He's this big Action Jackson looking dude. Oh man, you know, AJ, Action Jackson, right? And he's this big behemoth and muscle bound fool, you know, the last action hero. What are you doing? Call me when the governor gets there. You know, he's this big Schwarzenegger looking motherfucker, right? And he's fighting a guy with T-Rex arms. No disrespect to Andy Ruiz, but he got short arms, he's shorter, and he was out of shape, and he admits he was out of shape. And Joshua was like backpedaling, and he was in one mode. He was in one mode and didn't know how to switch out of that mode. He was in there really with a dead man that probably shouldn't have been in there at an elite fight, and the fight played out how it looked. So just like Andre Ward, I too am concerned because Joshua, I think he should have looked probably better with all things considered. I understand that Anthony Joshua was coming off of a loss, so I give him credit just for coming from a bad loss and even wanting more. You know, when a guy stopped you, dropped you 4 times, and you even want to take the immediate rematch. So I do give him some credit just because that's a hump you have to get over psychologically. But, you know, looking at the performance, I wasn't really sold that Joshua is this phenom that he was billed to be by Eddie Hearn and everyone thought he was going to be when he was destroying Eric Molina, knocking out Dillian White, destroying Dominic Breazeale. He's cut his weight. He's leaned down, so he's going to be at a size disadvantage versus a guy like Tyson Fury. He can't box better than Tyson Fury, you know? So I really see the top 3 still being Joshua, Fury, and Wilder, but I think Wilder and Fury both beat Joshua. Wilder because, you know, Joshua is not as slick. Tyson Fury said this at the post-fight. I was at the Wilder Fury 1 fight, and he said that. He said, man, had that been AJ, he would have got nailed. He don't move like me, and that's true. Joshua is a lot stiffer and a lot clunkier, even in his makeshift, you know, more boxer style. which he ridiculed when Tyson Fury beat Klitschko. Joshua says something to the effect of, yeah, it's like the king and the treasure. You storm the kingdom and, you know, chop the king head off. You don't run while everyone's asleep and steal the treasure. That he said something like that. So basically saying that Tyson Fury stunk up the joint with Klitschko, and yeah, he ran in the castle and he stole the treasure. You know, he's saying all this stuff, mocking Tyson Fury at the time, and then you put on a less convincing, less dominant performance with a guy who's less in terms of stature and probably really accomplishments. You know, Klitschko's definitely had a longer reign when Tyson Fury fought him than Andy Ruiz, you know. So Klitschko's 6'6" and strong and piston-like jab. So Klitschko definitely carried more momentum than Andy Ruiz had, you know, just over in terms of longevity. So I agree with Andre Ward. Everything he's saying, man. Joshua is looking shaky, and I don't understand why these British fans check get bang and all this stuff. They're in the comment section, all in the video, talking about they want to see Joshua versus Fury so bad. I still think Wilder, Fury, their styles will gel better because Wilder got heart and power. That's all you need to beat Tyson Fury. I think he stands a better chance of beating Tyson Fury because if he clobbers you, just like Francis Ngannou did last night to Rosenstrike, it don't matter because Francis Ngannou, you look at it, when he rushed Rosenstrike, he was getting clipped a little bit, but he landed the meaningful shot that he needed to. Boom. People can't take that power. So Wilder just has to compute, learn, not be discouraged, and make some tweaks. Obviously not walk out with a 45-pound suit, try to strengthen your legs. This rest with this pandemic is probably benefiting him, etc. Joshua, again, I really feel Joshua is in a no man's land because he's almost like an identity crisis. You ever see somebody who's like white and they want to be black, Malibu's most wanted or something like that? You know what I'm saying? They don't like, what's the name? Rachel Donzelier or whatever her name is. People like that. That's kind of what Joshua's in. Like, he don't know who he is as a fighter, I feel. Because are you going to implement the leaner, smaller, less muscle-bound stature and weight? That's not what you did for the first 21 fights of your career or whatever. You were walking guys down, boxing a little bit and, you know, showing your power combinations. But now you're going to deal because he got beat by Ruiz. He seems a little bit hesitant, you know, and it's only one fight to gauge. Again, Wilder versus Fury is next on the cards anyway, but we have to see it, you know. Joshua versus Fury, we have to see what happens, but I've watched boxing a while and I'm pretty convinced. I'm more Wilder Fury 3. I'd be more confident. I'd be more on the fence about who would win that than Joshua Fury. That's my standpoint. You get it? So if Wilder Fury fought in December, I'd be more on the fence than as to who would win than if Joshua and Fury fought in December. You get it? Let me know what you guys think and how I did in this video. New media, we control the narrative. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.